Hello, everybody.
How's it
Welcome,
going, everyone?
welcome to Smoke. Uh, I'm Stan Fikes, and you heard Michael there, Michael Culp. We have a very, very interesting show for tonight. We've kind of gone down another hole, if you will. Another murder, another murder is taking place. So we're this is kind of a famous one. A lot of a lot of motion pictures been made about this. The the beginning of this, it ultimately ended up into the paranormal, but the beginning was simply murder, and so we're going to go into the murder side of it tonight. Um, we may touch a little bit on the paranormal side, but mostly the murder, and uh, and then we'll do the paranormal side on another show. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Amityville murders, um, which I call the DeFeo murders.
Right.
Uh, so it's kind of a gruesome thing, and this happened in the '70s, and people still talk about it. Um, so I'm not exactly. I don't think it's 100% the fashionable movies that's made from it, that reason people talk about it so much. There's Facebook groups and other groups that talk about just the murders themselves and how gruesome it was. And so we're gonna get into that tonight and see what kind of avenue and what kind of hole we can go into. So Michael, how have you been, brother?
We've been doing pretty good, trying to stay warm.
I know that's right. It's been in the low 30s. Thank goodness tonight is the last of that. And I think, we usually have a cool snap right before Easter. So Easter's just in a couple weeks or a week. So um, April 5th, I think. Uh, so I think this is the last of the cold. I
Yeah, it's
hope it
getting
is.
that time.
Yeah, I hope it is. I'm so ready for it used to be I hated the heat, but right now I think
Use a
I
little
can deal
bit.
with yeah, at least I can go outside and get in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
And so are you ready for tonight? Are you ready for this topic? I know we've been covering some murder stuff, and cult leaders and things like that. So this is a little bit different.
A little
Uh,
different.
yeah, and I think it's kind of one of those things that needs to be talked about. You have a lot of people that's has the wrong idea about things. Um,
Yeah. A lot of things people don't know about.
exactly. So I think this is going to be kind of like one of our other shows. There's going to be multiple shows about this. We'll go over stuff tonight, and then we'll get in. Um, we'll get into some things. And Ben Bracken, what's
What's
up,
up,
sir?
Big Ben?
Um, and then we'll gather some more information and come back and maybe bring a guest next time or something that
That'd be cool.
either directly related or knows a lot about it. So tonight, let's uh, let's kind of go down the road, and of course, I've had a very eventful day. Um, I have a family member that is expecting a baby, and
Anytime now.
anytime. And we thought earlier that she was going, and she's still on that way, but she's just not quite there yet. So um, we're waiting for the fireworks. That should happen at any time, or
Fingers
could happen.
crossed.
Yeah, that's right. And so I'm very excited about it, and I really don't want to give any names or anything, but I'm very very excited. So y'all whisper a prayer for her, and this is going to be a an amazing thing for her. Uh, the outcome, I'll say, is going
Yep.
to be an amazing thing for her. I don't know if she's going to enjoy the, the getting there. So,
The next
but
20 years.
right. So we just whisper a prayer for her and tell her we love her and rooting for her. So if she's watching, and she might be, I don't know. Um, just hang in there. Your time's coming.
Yeah.
coming pretty fast. So anyway, so Michael, the Amityville horror or the Amityville murders, should I say? All that started at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. And you said you've been there, right?
I went past there before. And they've actually changed the number or the address to that house now. It's 108.
108 Ocean, yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to cut back on so many people
Mm-hmm.
going by there and gawking, if you will, and things like that. So, and I don't blame them.
No.
The new owners. I went. The house is kind of has that past anyway, so it's a beautiful home. I actually have been inside. Hang on a second. Um, okay. Yeah, you go ahead and text me. We're going to continue on. You come in though and close that blowhole. But anyway, my wife just come in the studio, so she's
Hello,
and
Teresa.
Michael says hello. Hi. She said hi. Um, so, but I've actually been in the home. Um, I was there under different circumstances. Hang on, guys. Michael, go ahead and tell them some of what you know.
See, I've been past there, I think it was in the late 70s. I lived in New Jersey. Um, like she says, beautiful house. I don't know if everybody I'm sure has seen it before, at least on TV. The house has got two little windows, kind of look like eyes. And everybody thinks, well, yeah, the house is always looking at me. That's one thing that intrigues everybody. When the other family got the house after that, no, I'm wrong. When the DeFeos bought the house, he painted the house with black, I think it was black yacht paint. I forget the reason why he painted it with that, but he had repainted the house, and it actually looked pretty good the way he had it painted up with that paint. And we'll be talking about Ronald DeFeo Jr., better known as Butch. Everybody
Butch.
called him Butch.
Yeah.
And everybody called his father Ronnie. And a lot of things everybody don't know about Ronnie DeFeo. Things people don't know about Butch DeFeo. And pretty much all the DeFeos.
It was they had kind of a strange family, um, a strange connection to things, but there was so many rumors that I read about, and of course, I'd heard about whenever I was younger, I guess you would say. But I heard that they had mob ties and things of that nature. And
Her father, um, he had ties with a mob. DeFeo's uncle, I think it was, or one of his family members was in the mob, and they were like conflicting mob members,
yeah,
conflicting families. And when Ronnie got with his wife's father didn't want nothing to do with that.
yeah, exactly.
And he didn't have nothing to do with that. So that was a big strain on him for a long time. And then when Ronnie or Butch was born, he kind of put that behind him, a little bit, tried to make peace with the family. And Butch was one of his favorite kids or grandkids.
Yeah. Well, of course, I think Big Ronnie, he owned a Chrysler dealership,
No,
Pontiac dealership.
her father owned a Pontiac.
Was it
It
okay?
was a Buick dealership.
Buick. That's right. That's right.
He owned the dealership, and he brought Ronnie into work so that he was basically taking care of him. You
Yeah.
know, he brought Ronnie in, was paying him good money a month. When Butch got older, I think when he got about 17, they brought him in,
Men. Yep.
and he didn't even have to work. He didn't even have to show up. He didn't have to do nothing. He made about $400 or $500 a week.
In the '70s, that's great. In the
Yeah,
'70s, that's great money.
sure was.
Absolutely. A lot of families living on that now. So, that was really, and especially for not having to work.
Right.
Well, he did a lot of errands. I do know that.
Yeah,
He
he
took,
was errand boy.
yeah, he had to deliver cars and go and pick up cars and things like that. But
Hush money.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so the motive, moving towards the murders, the motive is kind of
Mm, that's
one of the things that's not. There's several things that people said that they had the police were looking into as a motive. So, um, leading up to the murders, um, Butch, uh, of course, he had arguments with his father a lot.
a lot. Fist fights.
Yeah, even his father pulled a gun on him.
No, he pulled a gun on his
He put a
father.
gun. He put right. He pulled a gun on his
Put
father.
it right up to his head and
His
pulled the
head.
trigger
Yep.
twice.
Yep. So there was distrust and there was a lot between those two that couldn't be fixed
Right.
from what I've read. So, um, do you, in your opinion, do you think the business was the motive, the abuse,
I think
or
the abuse through the whole family, I think was the actual motive. I think
right?
there was the thing with his sister Dawn. She had a boyfriend that wanted to move to Florida, and he ended up going. And Ronnie wasn't letting her go. He wasn't letting nobody out of the house. He
Yeah,
didn't trust anybody to leave the house because you know they had ties with the mob at the dealership, and they were giving money to people, and they had a lot of things, the hush money stuff. They didn't want people to know everything, so he
right.
didn't want nobody to leave. So she had actually pulled a knife on him one day. Matter of fact, I think it was the night of the murders.
Murders. Yep.
She had pulled a knife on him and chased him around the table, and I think he kind of was enjoying it and letting her do it, and then took the knife away from her.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of conflicting, things about that story also, because according to Butch's supposedly wife at that time, Geraldine, he was supposed to have been at the house with her that day at their house, and he come and took him, or no, the mother had called him that day and said that they were out there fighting, and they wanted him to come and try to take care of it. So that's another story. Another story is he says he wasn't there. He was with Geraldine's brother
Yeah.
that they found out later was fictitious. She didn't have a brother.
Right.
So there's so many conflicting stories of actually what happened that day. You really can't tell, but there was so much violence went on that day that, I'm sure, he got tired of it. And it was supposedly, he says that him and his sister done it. And then she had killed the kids because she didn't want no witnesses. And so he shot her. So,
Yeah. Shot her in the head,
but
supposedly.
But it is so strange that they had 9 shots go off in that house and houses 50 feet on all around them. and nobody heard nothing. But one little girl said she heard something about 3 o'clock in the morning, and she just went back to bed, didn't think nothing about it. She heard a dog barking from it,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody heard a rifle shot 9 times in the middle of the night. I mean, I just don't understand it, because
Well,
you ought to be able to hear that rifle for a good ways at night.
there was people that said that they speculated that maybe some of the reason that the neighbors didn't, and even the police touched on this, that maybe the neighbors didn't hear it because of the break between the shots. Um, Even though that Marlin 35 was really loud, if you will, um, it being muffled within the walls of the home, but and then the separation between the shots, because it wasn't bam, 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 bam.
Right,
He had to go room to room, but there was also speculation that some of the kids were awake.
right. And there's also
So,
speculation that his 2 buddies that he supposedly went to the bar and told it, mom and dad was, killed, I think, and we need you to
yeah,
come. There's rumors that they were there that day, and Dawn was supposedly downstairs while they were shooting pool and said, we got to take care of this tonight. We got to do
right,
this now. So they're said that they were at that house at that time and that night. There's so many different things you really can't tell exactly what was said. But in an interview that they did with Butch while he was in prison, he tried to say, Dawn wanted to do this, and we decided we was going to do it, and she did this, and then this here, and
right.
but you really can't tell. I mean, if he was
Well,
in jail already, he ain't got nothing to lose.
well, that's true. The police had kind of ruled out that Dawn uh, was an accomplice with him. That was, one of the things that came up in court anyway. And but she was shot face down, just like the rest. She was shot in the head,
Right,
and so of course DeFeo Butch said that it was a hit that was put out on the family,
right,
and which was what was the Filonini family or something like that. That it, but police later found out that he had alibis. So
right.
he was kind of pushed to the side as being a suspect for it. And but in court, Butch used the whole insanity thing.
That
Um,
was his attorney's idea.
right. You know, tell people that you hear things. There was voices inside the house that said to do it, and then of course I think in one of the interviews that I seen, Butch said that once he started, he couldn't stop. His whole thing that he started out to do was going to kill his parents,
Right.
but he wasn't going to kill his siblings.
No, he just wanted to kill his father, but something was said that he shot his dad and he heard another shot, and then he thought he got shot. And so he shot his dad again, and somehow in all that, mom got shot. And then I guess I don't know if he just had to get rid of everybody, or he had help with everybody.
Well, I mean that's
Yeah.
where the whole thing with Dawn came in. Said Dawn shot the kids, he shot the parents, and then they were arguing, him and Dawn, and then ultimately end up he shot her in the head.
And she supposedly had a 38 also that was his.
Right.
And
Um,
in her room, he said he had it was like a little, like a separate room off to the side of her room that you had to crawl through to get into. And that's where he kept all of his guns that he was supposed to have gotten rid of. And he had $35,000 in that that little room. And after he had went to jail, he had got a hold of one of his buddies to go get rid of all those guns and to get that $35,000.
Mm-hmm.
So she could have got one of those guns, out of that little hole. She could have used that 38 there. I mean, I
But
don't know if back then if they could, literally tell what shot what you was actually shot with like nowadays.
ballistics, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not as advanced as now, but they could tell that
Hey, Destiny.
they were shot with the same caliber bullet. Let me put that up on the. Says I know someone to kill his girlfriend, her daughter, and rage and took over, and he shot his own daughter and then his girlfriend, KD's niece. He said he don't know why he shot and killed his own daughter. That was not his intention. Once he started, he couldn't stop. Yeah.
They could have blacked out.
Um, of course, mental illness take takes on a new a new fashion, if you will, whenever it comes to things like that. And
Well, see, Butch did LSD and stuff like that too,
yeah,
so he could have
yeah,
been hallucinating and thinking,
that's what,
all this stuff.
right. That's where the whole thing, the devil made me do it, came
Right.
from. And of course, when he joked about that to his attorney picked up on it and said that's a good defense. Okay,
Yep.
so of course they sent him for a psychiatric exam, and the doctors said, he had a social disorder, but he was competent enough to stand trial. And then, they got him for second degree murder, 7 cases of first degree murder, and or second degree murder rather.
6 cases.
6 cases, yeah, I'm sorry, 6 cases. And um, why would it be first degree murder? I mean, he definitely had malice. He definitely planned to do this.
I think they got him with second-degree murder.
Right, right. So wonder why it wasn't first degree murder.
Not sure. I don't think they had all the evidence that they really needed
Right.
to to get him for first-degree murder.
Of course, first degree murder probably would have carried a I mean, he went to prison for life anyway.
Yeah.
He died in prison. Um, so these doctors that said that he was capable of standing trial, they basically opened up the court's eyes with, he has a social disorder, but he doesn't have a mental disorder.
Right.
So they're through that whole "the devil made me do it" thing out, and so when his attorneys picked up on things like that, I guess first degree murder may have carried death penalty. Okay, so I wonder if it was a plea that they did to get it second degree murder. But like you said, the evidence wasn't there evidently for that. And but how much evidence do you need to know that this person killed his entire family, and then hid the weapon in a canal and basically lied about everything
Multiple
um,
times.
multiple times. And so, how much more evidence would you need to know this guy needed to be put to death? This guy just needed
He
to
needed
exit this
something.
world.
Yeah.
He was definitely sick in the head, but he was, and we'll go here, he was evil.
Yes,
He
he
was an
was.
evil person.
He was just like his father. He his father brought the evil out of everybody. He was an evil person.
Yep. It's amazing how evil people can get in
And
situations.
they tried to make him out like he was just a saint, and people talking about, oh, he was just this, and oh, he was just a great guy, and they go to the bar, somebody else gets in a fight, he gonna get in a fight with him. He gonna jump in. He was always in bar fights. He was always in a fight somewhere. Some always happened with him in town. They went around town and asked people, what do you think about this case? Who do you think did it? Oh, Bush did it. Bush did it. We can tell Bush did it just by the way he's always been.
Yeah. Well, of course, Butch was the older of the kids. He was so aggressive towards his siblings. Sometimes that there was one interview that was done that he would throw his little brothers around, throw them against the wall, things of that nature. Just being really, really abusive. And then, of course, their father, like you said, was abusive, and that kind of runs down the tree, if you will.
Yep.
Now, mom, she had issues, but she
had
was
secrets too.
Yeah, secrets. All right.
Secrets.
What kind of secrets did they have?
She had 3 boyfriends.
3.
She had 3 boyfriends at that time.
Well, now, Michael, I've been busy, okay, and I probably didn't do as much research as I needed to do. But so you're gonna have to add me in on the 3 boyfriends because I missed that one.
Supposedly they had some portraits done in their house,
Okay.
and of the whole family. They paid thousands of dollars for it, and this guy had to keep coming back because some things were wrong with some of the portraits, and things went on a little bit behind the scenes. And this was coming from Butch himself. He said, "Yeah, I know she had boyfriends. She had multiple boyfriends. That's one of the reasons they were fighting all the time."
So instead of the milkman, she had the paint man.
She had the painter. She had was a hair guy, one of the hairdressers or something like that. And then I think it was another guy that worked at some kind of retail thing that was, kind of a important fella, and didn't really want that put out. So he went ahead and put everything out. He said she had 3 boyfriends. He knew about it, and that was one of their main problems.
Well, when all that comes about, when there's a murder, and then the son is the one that they said did this, and if they had any ties with the family, I imagine they either disappeared or they brought everything out because they don't want to be implicated in any of it. Hey, I had this and this, but it wasn't me. I didn't have anything to do with that. So
he even said that at the cemetery, I forget exactly which cemetery it was. He said, "I know my grandfather. He had people putting at least 9 people in that cemetery. I know where 9 bodies are. I can take it right to him right now." They part of the mob. He knew things about the mob. They even had a hit out on him not long before the murders. His dad tried to kill him one time, tried to cut his brakes. His dad wanted him to kill his grandfather and give him a pistol, and told him, "Take care of it, get it done with, or don't come back home." He said, "If you don't take care of him, I'm going to take care of you." And he went in there, supposedly going there and supposed to have killed his grandfather. And he's like, "No, I ain't doing this." They put the gun on the table and told his grandfather what's going on, and then he went to leave, and it wasn't too long later, his brake line was cut on his car. And his dad, when they come back to work one day, his dad was outside. I see you made it to work today. Just laughing about it because he knew he'd done it. Especially when his dad's sitting there laughing at him, saying things like that. That's kind of interactions they had. They hated each other.
Yeah. Well, when you couple LSD and other drugs that he used, the implication of a mob hit. Hello, Dothan Downtown Tours. Um, having the connection with the mob, okay, that's tough enough to deal with, okay. And the mob is what I know about the mob. One of those things that if you didn't play, you paid.
Yeah.
Um,
and you don't steal money from the mob.
Oh no. Wasn't there a question of $35,000 that was missing?
Oh, it was more than that. It was like 600,000. His
Well, I had
dad,
read.
he had 35,000 of his own money in the
Right.
house.
Right.
His dad had supposed to have had 3,400,000 or something like that buried in the basement, and he was supposed to get rid of it and take it somewhere. And when he took it, they're like, there's only like 2,600 or 2,000 something. And they're like, you're 600,000 in the hole here. Something ain't jiving. He's like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just told to come get it. And that's part of the reason why I think they was trying to kill him. They thought he had took the money.
Yeah. Well, I know that there was police was interviewing Butch, and I do know in that interview there was $35,000 mentioned, and they kept asking him, did he know the whereabouts of $35,000? And then there was some money missing from the dealership, supposedly. And
his dad was skimming the till.
Right. And so that very well could have been the motive for if there was a mob connection there. Um, it's kind of like skipping a rock across the water. You know, you're going to have ripples that take on ripples that take on ripples. And the same way with mob hits, you take one, go do this hit, that hit gets done, then something else, there's always a trigger. And ultimately, the whole situation gets taken care of. So, in that case, if that's what happened, who's to say that Butch wasn't the ease that they call it? He did the murders of the family. He was supposed to have murdered just the dad. Well, mom woke up. They thought that she woke up during. Hey, Melissa. Um, they thought that she woke up when he shot his dad because he shot him the second time, and then she seen him.
He was also getting upset with his mother for taking up for his dad all the time.
Right.
I think it was the night that he put the gun to his head. She called out and said, Ronnie, are you okay? And he's like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You worried about him after he's beating on everybody? He's done beat on you. And you worried about him right now? So, I think he had starting to get, the same way with his mother that he was with his father.
It could be. You know, there was an attorney that was talking to Butch and asking questions specifically about his mother, and asked if his mother had woken up and looked at him in the face. Well, she was laying kind of semi face down, um, and I think she got shot once. Um, I think that's what that was, and the dad got shot twice.
I think the
Um,
mother got shot twice.
did she get?
I think both of them got shot twice.
Yeah, yeah, yep, shot twice while sleeping. Um, and so he was trying to hide things. Maybe his if he were hired by the mob to take them out, then he decided he was going to take everybody out, like like people were saying. He said he couldn't stop.
Yeah, he could have blacked out and not even once that first one, he could have just and
I
just
mean,
kept on going.
it's got to be. It's got maybe that was a release for him whenever he shot his parents because
Right.
he knew that all of that was going to end. All of that negativity, that abuse and things like that was going to end, with their death. But then the kids, they go and shoot the kids.
And that's the thing that gets me. They shot everybody. Everybody's supposed to have been shot face down, but nobody got up to see what was going on.
Well,
You
now
know,
they did speculate two of the children were awake.
right? They heard it, but
But
nobody
what's
got up. Nobody got up and run through the house and started screaming or see what was going on. And
well,
why
that's
is
true.
gunshots going on through the house?
But now the little kids, they could have just been terrified and
You
not
know, I
really
just
know
got to
what to do.
thinking of something though. Butch had mentioned something about him and Dawn wanted to learn how to shoot, and he had
Mhm.
a little shooting skid thing there in the house where she could shoot that little 38. Now, thinking about it, maybe they thought they was just shooting a little gun in the house like they normally was doing. That's a possibility why they didn't get out of bed.
Possibly.
I'm just
Um,
now thinking about that.
but now, what's to say that they couldn't have woken up and just sat up on the side of the bed, and we came in the room, he ordered them to lay back down,
Yeah, that's true.
lay face down, and you know, I have looked at the scene photos, and there was a whole bunch of scene photos that wasn't released. I thought about putting some of these on the show tonight, but I decided against it. Um, the At some of those photographs, if you looked at the position the bodies was in, it's not a normal sleeping position.
Mm-mm.
So, especially for a child, most children are going to be like in a fetal position or a semi-fetal position whenever they're asleep. Most children, um, and but these children look like maybe they had fallen face down onto the bed. Okay, now who's to say that when the children were shot, they didn't die immediately?
Right.
Okay.
They said his father, when he was shot, he was probably still alive for another 5 minutes,
Hmm.
and his mother probably could have been alive for another 10, 15 minutes. Um, and there's speculation that there could have been more than one person that helped him move bodies, and roll them over to where they are. But if they're face down and they're shot in the back, somebody didn't just help him roll them over after he shot them, because then they would have shot him in the front, and then the exit wound would have been in the back. So
Well, that's why. That's why I was looking at some of this. Like, this guy could have. They could have woken up during all this, and this guy ordered him lay back down. Could have told him lay down on your stomach or I'm gonna shoot you, and he ends up shooting him anyway. Or don't look. You know, they
Right.
were, some of them were face down in the bed. So when people are sleeping, do you put your face directly on the bed? No.
No.
So they either, when they were shot, they were either still alive for a short period of time, and they just kind of turned their head around, or he made them lay face down in the bed and then shot them.
Or he could have shot them and then stuck their face in the pillow to help suffocate them to make sure that they did die. Also, that's a
Could
good.
have.
That's a
They,
good.
yeah, they could have. But most of the time, when someone is shooting, they're wanting to get this done. But now, with that said, it's not like he was really scared to run or scared to get out of there, because he took a shower and
Yeah.
got dressed and went to work just like nothing happened.
Yep. I think it said he finally came back. I think when he went to the bar, it was 16 hours later.
Yeah, 16
16
hours
hours.
later. And then all he said was, he mentioned, I think somebody shot my parents.
Right. I
Um,
need you to come help.
I need you to come help. Right. And then a group of people, and I'm assuming they were his friends, went, and then there was one guy that called 911
Those
to
are the two
report.
friends that supposedly was said that came there that night before the night it happened, and they were supposedly at that house that night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So there there's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up to police reports. Um, there was a lot of speculation, and then so maybe that's the reason that some of that information didn't jive. That the jury in the trial didn't convict him of first degree murder,
right.
because there was doubt. Why was this? Why did this? So some of the photographs of there was hundreds of photographs in each room, um, of the bodies, and they even turned the bodies over and took photographs of the mattresses, the bed, the floor, the walls, blood splatter. There was blood splatter on some of the walls. Um, I forget which child it was. Um, maybe it was, anyway, it was one of the boys. The
That's
way he
probably
was,
Mark. Was they
the
with
way
his
he,
arm?
yeah, he was,
Yeah, that was Mark.
yeah, the way he was laying, and then the blood splatter on the wall. You know, could he have been shot as he was moving and then just fell on the bed?
That's possible.
I mean,
He could have been running back towards away from him.
right, he could have actually been up on his feet running towards you know the bed is where he was at. So maybe he was headed back to the bed to hide or something of that nature, and he came into the room and boom, shot him. He hit the bed, fell in that position, and the blood splatter hit the wall. Because if he's just laying face down in the bed, supposedly asleep, the bullet's going through the person into the bed and possibly through the bed. There wouldn't be that much blood splatter on the wall. So, one of the interview, one of the journalists said, "Well, thank goodness everybody was asleep and didn't know this was happening. I don't think that was so. I think that when the dad was shot, everybody else took notice in the house, and he was like boom 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 on mom because mom started moving, and then he started going room to room to room. And some of those kids, even in the coroner's report, some of those kids were awake.
Now he also said in one interview that mom shot dad,
Yeah,
and then Dawn shot mom and the kids, and he shot Dawn for shooting everybody
everybody
else.
else. Yeah,
And they said that he took the blame, so he didn't have to tell Grandpa that mom shot dad, and didn't have to tell his uncle, and he wanted to take the blame because they were in the mob, and there wasn't no telling what they would do about it, and which didn't really make no sense, if mom did it, they'd just be upset that she did it. Like ain't like they're gonna do nothing to him, but him taking the blame for it, they're gonna look at him and like, yeah, you done it. We're going after you. It's a wonder that he has actually lasted, or has lasted. It's a wonder he lasted as long as he did in prison.
yeah.
With all the ties that everybody had with the mob and everything in prison, and they could have put a hit out of him in prison at any time.
Well, that's true. Um,
But they
but
say he was a model prisoner. That while he was there, they never had no problems with him, and he was just a model citizen in prison.
well, what choice would he have?
Yeah, right.
I seen an interview where he basically was just uh, happy that his family was gone, happy that his parents. He called his siblings brats and things of that nature, and so he was glad that he was in prison. He didn't have to worry about anything anymore. Um, so that's that's the evil seed, I guess you would say. Now, the whole speculation that there was an evil entity in that house is
I don't buy
definitely.
all that.
I don't either. Doing the reading that I have read, um, and that sounded weird, but the information that I read kind of threw another thing on the family that moved in afterwards, and it wasn't. That's a whole nother show in itself.
Yes.
There's so much that I know about that it would probably shock a bunch of people if they actually knew the truth about that. And eventually we're gonna throw that out there too. Um,
I have a Lutz show.
I've had a very deep conversation with one of the Lutz family, and some of the information, you know, definitely would throw a um, a light on some of the movies. And if people believe those movies, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that was totally fabricated. All right, that was done
Make
for.
that right there.
That's right,
It's all
and
about money.
you know, there's another famous couple that was brought into that purposely,
Right.
um, to validate things,
And that's
and
another show.
that's another show. You're right. You're right. So, um, we're tripping and falling into these holes as we go along, and but something, one positive thing that came out of this whole DeFeo, the Amityville murders, the dog didn't get killed.
Right.
He was spared. What was his name? Jack or whatever.
I think so.
He was tied up in the kitchen, and he lived through the whole thing.
He was
And
lucky.
he was lucky. Yep.
They shouldn't have called him Lucky.
That's right. And they named the house High Hopes, and when they moved in, when they right after they moved in, everything for a good while was normal, a normal family. There was no abuse and stuff like that. And then the father started
I
abusing.
think Ronnie was losing his mind for, he actually thought he was like he could see visions and he could tell you what was going to happen in the future and this, that, and the other. And he was trying to be a God fearing man, supposedly, and put up all these statues around the house and in the house. But he
Well,
was,
heroin and LSD
yeah.
will cause you to hallucinate to no end. It it's just really amazing that those two drugs.
And the preacher that they had brought in or become part of the family was just telling them, oh yeah, you can see this and you can got this ability and you can do this and you can do that. And he was just buying into it. And he's like, yeah, I can tell you what's going to happen. This, I think it was Mark had a football game and his number was 6'7", I think it was, or
Yeah,
6'9". And he said, just remember that number. And I think it was 6'7". They lost 6-7. He was just, I think he was just losing his mind there towards the end.
sure. Um, Now, stress or having a stressful life, if they were involved with the mob, just think about how having that type of influence every single day of your life, the business that you're in, you're tied with your family, you're tied with your father, your grandfather, and
Constantly looking over your shoulder.
right, degrading him, going, you this and this and this and this, you're going to have to go do this for me, and putting him in situations to where he had no control. So he starts the drugs, heroin, LSD, no telling what else. When you mix drugs like that, it will cause schizophrenia. It'll cause, of course,
Yeah.
brain damage and things of that nature. And so when you have that type of stress every single day in your life, sooner or later you click. Sooner or later you lose it.
Yeah. Speaking
And
of drugs, the autopsy said that none of the family members had any kind of drugs in their system to make them sleep or anything like that.
yeah, they
So
had, yeah, the somebody, and I forget exactly who, a police officer, I think, speculated that he had to have drugged them, you know. But then, of course, the coroner said that there was at least two of them that were awake when the murders took place.
right, I think one of them was a little girl, the young
Yeah,
girl, the
right.
youngest girl, I think it
The
was.
youngest girl. Yeah. Um, and could you? Of course, we wasn't there. There was nobody else there to tell exactly what went in place. So we can only speculate by doing research, looking over things. Imagine her fear. Her brother is standing over her with a rifle, with a gun,
Right.
and she doesn't understand why. And the same way with one of the younger boys, he was autistic. He didn't understand. So these children were were being tortured basically. But now Butch, in one of his interviews, said that he had to apologize to his sibling. So if he apologized to his sibling, why would he apologize to a dead body?
Yeah,
So if they were awake enough for him to have to apologize to him, that right there, that
that's true.
sheds a whole light on some things. So those kids, I mean, I can only imagine the fear that they had in the house that night.
If he knew he apologized, he didn't black out
No,
unless he woke up afterwards and apologized for it that way. But he didn't go in there and shoot him and apologize at that time. Like you said, he probably apologized and then shot him.
well, the man knew what he's doing. I do believe.
Yeah,
He might have been high. Um, that might have been one of the driving factors. That and the abuse, and maybe somebody outside the family was pulling some strings. Maybe, and so he done the deed, goes and takes a shower, gets cleaned up, and goes to work.
dispose of the gun and the clothes in the water.
Yep. And so that whole situation threw a light in on that town of Amityville. That, of course, most negative thing that's happened there. Um, that town's supposed to be like a sleepy little town, if you will. Um, like I said in the beginning of the show, I've been in the house. Um, I won't say that I'm any type of psychic or anything. Of course, I wasn't in the house as an investigator for the paranormal. I was in the house uh, on a security detail, honestly. Um, and the time that I was in the house, of course, I wasn't able to roam through the house freely or anything. But the time I was in the house, it was just a home, just a house. And I never felt anything negative that heard any voices or anything like that. Of course, I heard about the murders and things like that, but the people that were there to talk to, or the uh, the people that own the house, they uh, they were open about things. Um, you know, if you have any questions, just ask. We'll answer the best we can. Well, of course, I never had any questions. I figure you let the dead lie, and I did my job and left. But the upstairs area, I mean, it's a beautiful home, and the upstairs area was, I mean, it wasn't evil either. So it it's just kind of a situation to where somebody either went crazy, had a whole bunch of drugs in them, or was being controlled by somebody outside the family or outside the home, should I say?
Yeah,
Um, and
and there
he,
was an insurance policy.
yeah. So who was the beneficiary?
I think the beneficiary ended up being an uncle or something. I think it said he got something, but Ronnie got some. I mean, Butch got something, but he didn't get. He didn't even know about the beneficiary or the insurance policy till after he was in court, and they asked the police, you know, what about it, beneficiary thing, and he knew he wasn't gonna get no money out of it, but then they started to try to use that as a motive for him in court.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely one of the motives that they had mentioned. It was insurance money. Um,
I
the
don't
big
think I don't think he needed to worry about insurance money as much money as they had lying around that they stole from the business and everything.
right, and it just amazes me reading up on some of this stuff that how this whole case um ended up. There was so many ends that was left untied, if you will, and so much evidence that was left on the table. I guess maybe these police officers and the investigators was, we have enough evidence to lock him up. Okay, so maybe this will put a cap on this. And then the next family moves in, and starts stuff up the whole time, again. So it, it's it's pretty amazing, and again, that's for another show. But and we are going to do that show. Uh,
They came with a lawyer, with Butch's lawyer, and talked to Butch and tried to get Butch to go all in with the movie thing and all that.
yeah,
And he told him no. The only way he'd do that is if they give him like 800 something $1,000, I think he said. And then they didn't want to do all that. So he said, no, I don't want no part of it.
after Butch had been in prison for a while, and there was an interview, and the guy doing the interview asked him plain out, "Did the devil make you do it?" And he was like, "There was no devil.
Yeah.
Nobody made me do that, but me." Basically, is what he was saying. It's not word for word.
Yeah,
So
and I think he said it was all that was that devil crap is all from the Lutz
yeah,
and
yeah.
my lawyer.
The attorney, uh, that attorney was figuring out how to make money off royalties off of a book,
Right.
and of course, we'll go into that more on the next show. But that is kind of a dark hideaway anyway. And um, George Lutz, he's not an innocent person. Trust me,
No.
not at all. And you can't not in research the next family that moved into that home. Wow, you're researching this one because there was so many references in both direction.
Right.
Um,
And
so
and supposedly they knew him before the murders. He
I
used
don't
to.
know.
He said they used to party with him before the murders.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I remember reading that, and there was uh, there was a lot of that stuff went, and
hello, Deepak.
Deepak, what's up, my brother? Um, this gentleman, Deepak, is he works on all our websites.
Yep.
Uh,
Remember talking about him.
yep, he does a very very good job. He's worked with us for years, and so absolutely. But when you have a case, and you know what, if they went back and reinvestigated this case, they would find so much evidence to tie in so many other people.
Yes. If today's technology would have been back then, there'd have been a whole lot more.
Right. And I think I would love to see them to reopen the case, even though Butch DeFeo is the one that took the fall because he done the crime. I think that there would be no choice but to do some other arrests, have some other arrests, and if those people were still alive.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
got dirt on so many people. Oh, he had dirt on so many people.
it's right,
Yeah. Keep
And
forgetting he's passed away already.
right. But think about it this way. Maybe he got deep. He committed the murders as a ploy or a hit, and then they turned on him. So his best alternative was to go to prison,
Yep.
thinking maybe that he would be protected in prison. Um, that's not a surefire thing by
It
any
could
means. Pardon.
it could have been one of those. You take care of this problem, or we're gonna take care
Right.
of you. You gonna be a
And
problem.
so, and that's again, if they could reopen the case, um, and do some further investigating, I would be real interested to see in the outcome of that, and seeing who was brought up. They might still be alive or may not.
They had to bring in the NCIS crime scene investigators, and there were their lasers and all that
That's
stuff. They'll figure all that in about 15 minutes.
absolutely, absolutely, yep. And but I do think this is, and it's weird. You and I have done several shows now, and each topic we get to researching and investigating it ourselves. We find so many avenues that the police should have went down and didn't, or at least we can't find any evidence that they did. So this one is no different. Um, the police should have did this, or but it could have been circus. It could have not been the best. I can't say that word. Sorry, y'all. Um, but so maybe that was just part of the investigation that really. Well, we've got this over here. We know he's going to go to prison. Um, we'll just leave this over here, not really mentionable, if you will. Well, then maybe the people that was pulling the strings on the outside are being pushed under the table, if you will, because they really don't want to go down that route. They want to go that route with it. Um, better left alone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they opened it up now. They'd opened up stuff that they didn't want opened up back then.
Right, and there would be too many people maybe implicated again. So um, better let dead dogs lie, type of things. But it's a crying shame that a family like this got killed. All those kids, um, the mom and the dad, um, because of somebody's greed. And I do think that that's what ultimately ended up
Yeah.
killing his family was greed.
Well, you figure he was an Italian, and his father-in-law was paying for everything. He paid for the house. Anytime they needed something, he went and got it. He took the kids every week to buy new shoes for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
He had quality meat sent to the house every week. They didn't have to worry about anything. Grandfather was paying for everything, and that would put a big damper on somebody's feelings. As a man, I'm supposed to be taking care of my family, but you know this guy's paying for everything. That was one of their big things between the two of them, because he hated his father-in-law. He used to send him notes and write "fu" on it, and just over and over and over "fu," and then shove it underneath his door where he could find it. Well, his father-in-law wasn't going to do nothing about it because his wife, his daughter was with him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want nothing happen to his daughter, so he didn't do nothing about it.
Wow. You know, Michael, you've done a lot of research, brother, and I think that this whole thing, um, when we finally get through with this show and the second part to this show, and possibly the third part to this show, and we may do that in 2 weeks. We have a guest next week, so what we may do is keep this going in 2 weeks, and then we'll kind of go, um, and we'll go ahead and add in the Lutz family on the next show. Do you want to do that?
That'll be the next chapter of the story.
Right. Because I know it's 8:17, but it, I think that's going to be the best thing, because, and the reason I say that is
Well, it's all one big story.
it's all one big story,
you
right?
can't put it all in one episode. The other shows that we've done, there's other things to it, but this is all one big show leading up.
And if the murders wasn't bad enough, the lies and the deception that comes after this is, and the other hole we're going to get into in the paranormal, um, people are going to go, whoa, I didn't know that, you know. And there's a lot of, and I started researching the murders and individually family members and things like that, even family members outside the house that we'll bring in on the next show, that led right to the Lutz. And see, it was kind of odd that you had said that they had partied, um, because it does, it's like this puzzle piece and that puzzle piece just is falling together, and it's amazing how all that just kind of ties together.
And I'm not talking about drinking parties.
No, 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 no. Um, there's some dark stuff on the on the other side of this, and people watch the movies
And they believe the movies.
and they believe the movies, and y'all, the movie is just that, is just a movie, and the implications that movie had on the paranormal field, um, is not a good thing.
And like we said last week, do your research. Research everything you can find out about it, because you're gonna find out things you didn't even know, and then the thing you find out things you thought you know that wasn't nothing to begin with.
Right. And please, 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 don't believe these movies. It's all propaganda. It's all for the money. It's yeah, exactly. Um, because there was so many things that was lied about, and the reality of this is really dark, but not movie wise. Michael, but
Wasn't me.
I know, but so yeah, let's plan to do that in 2 weeks. Um, Next week we have an awesome guest that's going to be coming on. He is,
Got to research him too.
yep, got to research him, but I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody know his name, Michael, and so they can be tuning in for the next week's show. Robert Mooks. He I have spoken to him several times on the phone. He is a fantastic guy. Um, anybody hasn't seen the movie House of a Thousand Corpses, go watch it and pay attention to the record driver.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
But he's going to be our guest next week. He is actually a guest for Deep South Fair Comic Con coming August 8th and 9th. And that'll be at the Enterprise Civic Center. And we want everybody that can come out, come see Robert, get an autograph, hug his neck, whatever. He's a 6'10" big old baby bear. And so he's a big old guy. So
I got a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
Remember last week you decided to do the subject last week. I think it was March the 13th or March the 11th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last Wednesday.
That was the date of the murders, wasn't it?
No, Robert DeFeo died on March the 12th.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, Ronald DeFeo. Butch died on March the 12th.
Okay.
2021.
2021. I did remember that, yeah.
What's the odds of that happening 2 weeks in a row?
Well, we did the Manson things, and
Right.
the Manson murders at August 8th and 9th.
Right.
The date of our con is actually the anniversary of the Manson murder. It's August 8th.
When I seen that, I was like, man, what's the coincidence of that?
So it's kind of weird. So that leads us to another rabbit hole, right?
All right.
Because we hadn't even got into the darker episodes yet.
Mm.
And they're coming. Yo, sometimes I wonder about me. But
I wonder all the time.
I know that's right. But so y'all, we've got so many guests lined up for Deep South Fair Comic Con, August 8th and 9th at the Enterprise Civic Center. We've got Michael and Destiny Fox Paranormal coming. We got Keith Age, the Rock and Roll Ghost Hunter, of course, Robert Mukes. We got Lee Triana, Terry Brown, Matt Brown, Gwen Johns, Blaine Rowan. We've got Richard and Colleen Johnson from EVP.
Yeah.
And we got the big Ben Bracken, the Ghostbusters, Dothan Ashford edition.
The Redneck Raja.
The Redneck Raja, right? Jatine Patel. Ben's crew. He's Sour Patch. In fact, their show is tomorrow night. Pop Culture Chaos. Everybody needs to tune in on that. He's going to have a great guest tomorrow. But yeah, it's going to be a great time, and we've got some surprises for folks. We're going to have prizes. Now, Michael, we hadn't given away a ticket. Are we making the trivia too hard?
No, it was pretty easy.
All right. Well, I guess what we're going to need to do, one of us needs to go over on the Smoke Podcast page and put in a question, and we'll start giving away some tickets over there. All right. So I want to throw a question out there to anybody that's listening, except for Ben and except for Destiny.
Melissa.
And Melissa. Y'all already get into the con. But can you tell us what our very first show topic was? All you have to do is come to our Smoke Podcast page on Facebook. And Ben says, dang it. Go in there.
Charge him.
Yeah. You got to buy 3 tickets, Ben. Gozer. What's a little
Slimer.
Slimer. And Vigo. You got to buy a ticket for each one of them. So
and the Stay Puft Muffin.
And Stay Puft Muffin? But
Stay Puff, or whatever his name is.
oh, Stay Puft, the
Yeah,
Marshmallow Man.
yeah,
Yeah,
Marshmallow
absolutely.
Man.
Yeah. Actually, Ben, we were talking today. Ben's got some great ideas and stuff that he's bringing to the con, and it's just going to be fun. Y'all bring the kids out and go have them see Ben Bracken and the Ghostbusters. They're going to have a great time. And if you're a kid at heart, go see Big Ben. He's a big old baby, but he loves his Ghostbuster bunch. He loves his paranormal. He's on Web Paranormal. Um, we just have such a good time, and we want everybody to come out and have a good time. We're going to have a couple of podcasting areas set up, and if anybody wants to be on the show while they're there, by all means, come on.
Still need vendors and still need sponsors.
That's right. And come sign up for the cosplay. Miss Shawana Coleman, she's the director of cosplay for Deep South. Um, you can find her on Facebook. You can come to deepsouthfaircomiccon.com and sign up for the cosplay, and it's going to be a big deal. And we've got some.
We might have to bring her on here one night.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Hold on, guys. I have a special guest that just walked in the studio.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Y'all want an update?
Hey, see her?
Yes, we need
Have
an
an
update.
update. She just texted me, said about 40 minutes. Her contractions are 40 minutes apart. They're lasting 1.5 minutes.
Ooh, hold on. Vivian is one.
So
If
we
anytime.
coffee.
What?
We drinking coffee, and I'm dressed to go.
So,
I'm on call. She's gonna call me. She's gonna meet me at the hospital. She's gonna call me first. Y'all heard it right here.
And if you ain't in that car, she's going without you.
oh, I know. She asked me on the way home how much gas we got in here. And I told her, and she says, we need to stop and get some more. And I said, that ain't enough to go to the hospital. No, because we might have to go real fast.
That's right.
So, y'all, our granddaughter is getting ready to have a baby. I wasn't mentioning any names, but she's
supposed to announce on Facebook, but
she's getting ready to have a baby. And today I thought my wife called me at work and says, "Come get me. Vivian's in labor." Well, she's been in labor for a little bit. Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, hair.
So y'all say a prayer for her. This is her first child, and honestly, I can't believe that I'm saying this about my little Vivian, my little granddaughter, and this will be our second great grand.
What's up, Blaine?
And what's up, Blaine? And y'all come to the con to see Blaine. Y'all go give him a big old bear hug and tell him Stan sent y'all over there.
That's right.
And but hey,
There's the Raja right there.
here we go. I can't do it as good as you do, but yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Y'all go
And,
check him out too.
That's right. Y'all go see Jatin Patel. Y'all go watch some of his crazy videos on Facebook. That dude is, well, I say this in a good way. He's a nut.
Y'all gonna
Keep
leave with a laugh.
Yep. I'll have to keep practicing. Me and him gonna get together, and we're gonna be doing some videos. And Jatin, you're gonna have to take me snake hunting, dude. And yeah, I'll get him to be in front of the snake and draw his attention, and then I'll jump on his back and grab his head. That type of thing.
Just tell him don't sling it on you.
Yeah, I can see that. I slung a snake on my wife in Cahaba. Yeah, remember that? Yeah,
That
that
almost didn't go well.
that no, no. We got back to the motel. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't fun. It, but I didn't know she was standing there, man.
But it was just a little one.
Yeah, it was only about.
It was a little one.
Yeah, it was a little one. But she is scared of snakes. Period. So yeah, um, yeah, I did that, Jatine, and yeah. So, but anyway, it's gonna be a great con, and yeah, yeah, she used.
In his defense, it was dark.
It was, I mean, really dark. We was in Cabo. There was no lights except for them little lights we had strung up for people
Yep.
to walk through, and
Well, candle lights.
yeah, and we're right there by the Alabama River, and Teresa says, "Snake, snake." So what did I do? Instead of just letting the snake go away, of course, we were getting ready to have a bunch of people come in, and I didn't know what kind of snake it was. It was dark. So I went and grabbed it by its tail and was trying to carry it on. I was going to put it over by the river and let it go. And I had a stick, and then Teresa, she was to my side, and I flipped that snake, and it went right over on her. And I felt so bad, but it was funny. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We have a weird life sometimes. I mean, we go in the crazy things. But so, but we want everybody to come out to Deep South Pier Comic Con, meet all these people. I'll call you tomorrow, brother. Um, because guess who's coming on as a guest? That's going to be a good show. The Redneck Raja. We will announce him coming pretty soon, and um, I will call him tomorrow, and we will get things set up. But me and him, we're gonna have to go snake hunting. We got something planned that Michael, I'll call you also, that you're gonna be a part of this, and we will announce to everybody. But I got to get with your team and figure out the place and the time, and then we're gonna we're gonna do some we're gonna do some cryptid stuff.
We're gonna get to scare him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Jatine seems like he'd be a hard one to scare.
Yeah, he'd
So
be like, "What the hell was that?"
yeah, but let's do that again. That type of thing. So, but we're gonna have a great time, and that's what this whole life's supposed to be. And so but smoke. Let's get back to smoke here for a little bit. It's these coming weeks. Of course, next week we have our guest Robert Mukes, and we're gonna talk about his life and stuff, and I'm gonna put that up so everybody can see that. He didn't do it, but so, but anyway, we're gonna talk about his movie career and avenues that he's into now and stuff like that, and him coming to the con eventually. And we want to put that out there for everybody, and then the next week, and we will put out some information on this. The next week after that, we will continue our Amityville show. Um, we'll move into the Lutz version of this, and y'all just ready. And like me and Michael said, go do your research. And anybody that wants to come on, um, for a few minutes and say something about it or whatever the case may be, all you have to do is send us a message, and I will send you the link, and you can come on and have your few minutes to tell everybody what you think or what you know. And that's another thing smoke is about.
Yeah, you might know something we don't know.
That's right. And so, and especially future shows. Um, some of these topics that we're going to be covering, um, you very well could know a lot about this, and we're more than happy to bring you on and let you tell your story or whatever. If you don't want to come on, you send us an email, um, and
Or just tell it in the comments.
tell it in the comments. Absolutely. And so it's one of those things, and we want to make sure that we're as transparent as we possibly can be. Um, we don't want to spread any information out there uh, that we know that is not so.
We give
Um,
you the info that we find out.
right, and then what you do with that information or how you believe is you. But we're not intentionally gonna throw something out there that's not true. Um, there might be speculation about things, and that we will let you know. This is what people have said,
Supposedly.
supposedly, right? So, and that's the way we want this to be. And so, you guys come back next week, and let's talk to Robert, and we're gonna have a good time with him, and bring some things up, talk about the con, talk about other things and stuff. So y'all come back and enjoy a time with us, and then get prepared for the next week, because we're
And
gonna go a little bit darker.
if you have an idea for a show, just put it in the comments or emails. Let us know
That's
so
right.
we can check on it and see what we want to do about it.
And just remember this: it doesn't matter how dark it is. It doesn't. The only thing that I draw the line is, um, we don't do politics. We don't do unless they're directly related to the story that we're putting out there, the information. Um, because we may get into some governmental things, some conspiracy theories, and things of that nature. But we don't do any Epstein stuff. I don't want nothing to do with
No,
that stuff. No, not
no.
even close. Um, but
We draw the line somewhere.
oh yeah, I mean, there's no reason to do no Epstein stuff, man. I just don't want to
We go
do
down
that.
some deep holes, but we ain't going down that deep.
No. Um, I'm going to put uh, our email on the screen, and so people can, if y'all want, make, it'd help if I'd spelled that right. Can't hardly wait till my glasses come in. I got new glasses coming, and I can't
I
hardly
go in
wait.
2 weeks to get a new pair.
All right, let's see if this is right. Smoke Podcast 2026 at gmail.com.
Nope, you forgot that.
Oh, I did. See, I told. See, yeah.
He needs glasses.
Bad. So let me. I'll have to edit that. And
I'm blind and I saw that.
dude, you ain't staying blind. That's for sure.
If I put my glasses on, I couldn't even read nothing.
So yeah, it I think I screwed it up. What in the world?
Cat's trying to get on the bed.
Okay. Anyway, how about
There
that?
we go. That
All
looks
right.
better.
All right. So y'all send us an email to that address, please. Any show ideas? You just want to shoot the breeze, whatever you want to do. Just send us an email. Send us an email that says hi, whatever. Show topics. If you had a question about tonight's show and you don't want to ask it on here, so do it that way. And go to that email and send us an email and tell us what was our very first topic on our show. And we'll give you a free ticket, a Saturday pass to the Deep South Bear Comic Con. And that's August 8th and 9th, Enterprise Civic Center, Enterprise, Alabama. Michael, somebody going to hit you or something, man? Because you're looking like, oh, hell, I'm getting ready.
No, that cat's in trouble.
Oh, I hate when the cat gets in trouble.
I think he's fixing to get skinned alive.
All right. But, well, Michael, is there anything you want to tell everybody? How can people find us, man?
Find us on TikTok and Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can, if you want to rewatch this again, it's on YouTube.
Yep. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, share it to your friends and family. More people we get to watching it, the better off it'll be.
Go over to the Smoke Podcast Facebook page. Give us a like and a follow. We're going to probably next week. I haven't had a chance to set it up yet with everything that's been going on. Y'all, my life is kind of crazy right now. But we'll get it set up to where stuff will be streaming there as well. And so you can go like our page, and of course, go look us up at Web Paranormal Group. Like our Facebook page on that as well. Deep South Bear Comic Con page. Medieval Faith Fest page. Where the hell? Right there. See it? Yeah. And then, of course, you got Web Paranormal Group right there. And then Deep South is right there. So, y'all go like them pages. And, of course, Smoke. Don't forget Smoke. And see Smoke. Yeah. And but we've got some strange shows coming, some good shows. Y'all just keep up the love, keep up the things that you're doing in life, and just be safe. And just come hang out with us Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. And y'all go to the Web Radio Network Facebook page, like it, the YouTube, go subscribe, won't cost you anything. Watch some of our content, and we're getting ready to throw more on TikTok, and so it's just a thing in progress, and we're learning.
It's just in the early stages.
That's right. Michael is the TikTok guy between us two. I can watch some of the videos and stuff, but I put up a few. But he's the man when it comes to TikTok. And, so, but anyway, all right. So we've rambled enough, and we're 45 minutes over. Only 45 minutes over.
I know the boss.
Yeah, me too. She just left, but anyway, all right. So everybody, thanks for watching, and I guess we will catch y'all on the flip side, right, Michael?
That's right. Catch you next week, 7 o'clock Central Time.
All right. Be there, be square. Later.
Later.